AudioLab devlog number 6. It's kinda late at night. I've been working very hard on this all day trying to get it ready in time for this. Because apparently the thing that I've been doing with it did not fit into 3 weeks. That's fine, sometimes that happens. So my focus, as I said last time, was to expand my synthesizer for layering and sequencing. It's not done, but it's at least done enough that we can see what that's going to look like. So I also did a little bit of work on the synthesizer, or sorry, the sequencer here, whatever you call it, both S words. I guess I can't load that right now. File formats have changed and stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna have to, that's fine. My data is safe. Just gonna jam out a bunch of random notes here. So this view, did this exist last time? I forget. Anyway, it's a lot better now. It's actually useful. So this shows me every note included in the selection over here. If I click on the entire measure, I see all the notes. It shows the position within the measure, the pressure. I should have like column titles for these or something. They're not really columns though. Like if I'd put in a sharp note, for example, there's a sharp note. Then you know everything wouldn't line up. Ooh, these are sorted in the order that they're added, not in the order that they are in the sequence. I should change that because this one's at the end, but it's actually here in the middle. All right, anyway. Yeah, so this is piano key, position in the beat, or position in the measure, rather. Pressure, I think. Yeah, pressure, duration. And then instrument ID. Oh, I don't have, oh geez, what? Click, click? What do you mean click, click? And it crashes when I edit it. Oh, okay. So, like I said, I've been working on this all day, very hard, kind of crunching a little bit, more than I usually like to. Things are in a state of brokenness, clearly. It's fine, don't worry about it. Just input some random noises. I'll get off the screen to the parts that I was actively working on that are maybe a little bit more stable. Apparently those parts broke these parts. Yeah, you can hear the change. So yeah, this slider, when I sync with selection, will edit the values of everything that's in there. What's it playing? I guess just the first note. What a beautiful song. Okay, but yeah, like I could just mess with that duration, for example. Yeah, anyway, and it shows in yellow if my selection includes different values, but we'll just show the value of the first one. So yeah, this is a lot nicer for editing notes. If I want to change their position in the measure, for example, I can also do that. Let's put this one 1/8 into the measure. So now I have to zoom in here to even see where those are. Song's just getting better and better. And I could change their key value. Oh boy, this thing. Oh, what happened? What did I... 5. I'm confused. Why did you change color? Anyway, these are both E6 now. I could change them to like B2. I could just change this one to C2. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I can... for every property of a note can now be edited nicely separately. So like if I can click the whole measure and just... If it's easier to see these in a list format, or like if one is in a weird, awkward place in between beats, I can dig it out and mess with it and do bulk editing if I want to. You know, I can choose multiples of these and put them all on like the first beat if I want to. It's cool. I like it. So this is useful. What am I doing? Anyway, but most of my effort has really been spent on this screen here. Oh, one thing I did was I finally bothered to implement zooming and scrolling on this waveform, which is going to be real handy for some of the stuff I want to show shortly. But yeah, you can just zoom in all the way to... At some level here, there's... I mean, this is showing individual samples, but I don't have them, like, there's no clear boundary between them. Oh geez, you're loud. Why are you? Oh, because of the envelope, right? Okay, so first of all, sine wave, flat amplitude, lower amplitude. Ooh, better idea. Turn this off so it just won't make any noise at me. Here we go. So flat amplitude, pulse wave. There was a thing I was trying to show here that I wasn't able to show very well. So the difference between aliased and anti-aliased pulse waves. Here we go. We can see it clearly here. So we got like narrow, 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 wide, narrow, 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 wide, narrow, 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 wide. So that's, well, that's a gross noise, but you know, that's how it is. Let's turn that down a little bit because that's unpleasant. It's still very unpleasant. Sorry, but I want to demonstrate something. If I anti-alias, then yeah, you can see where the samples are. So it's putting those, is that clear to see? I mean, it's putting these in such a place that it basically makes the width. Let's play this unpleasant noise again, and maybe it'll be a little less unpleasant. A lot less unpleasant. Yeah, that completely eliminated all that artifacting. Wow. Okay, I won't press the play button anymore in this. Here, yeah, you can see the anti-aliasing here, but not as clearly. Because, like, the important thing is the clear different widths here. This is like 4 samples. This is like 3 or something. I don't know what the number is. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I was trying to explain with anti-aliasing, but wasn't able to. But now with zooming waveforms, I can. And it's nice. Let's reset this before I accidentally play that again. So anyway, layering, sequencing. We got these 2 buttons here, filters, layers. Let's start with layers. So this is a real bad UI that I'm still working on, but technically is as capable as the BFXer UI that I showed the other time, where I can position. I'm not going to open up BFXer again right now, but I'll just show you how this one works. So here's one default thing, you know, it sounds like that. I'll add another one, put it at an offset, and now we have a sequence of 2. So here in track 2, you know, let's change this to say a triangle wave. There we go. And, you know, let's give it a different frequency thingy. What's happening? Okay, these 2 are interfering. It's real confusing to look at waveforms on top of each other sometimes because they do stuff like that and it looks real strange, but this is normal. This is that's just what it looks like to overlap those. If I didn't overlap them, you know, when they separate, just like natural mathematical interference, this goes down towards 0. Yeah, that sounds right. So anyway, I can have as many of these as I want. Gets kind of loud because, oh geez, yeah, that looks so weird. Yeah, with whatever. Let's make you a bit quieter. Here, okay, so there's some noise in the middle now, a little less noise in the middle. There we go. That still sounds so loud. Sure. Anyway, yeah, so I can do what BFXer was doing with its sequencing. So that's great. This UI, yeah, very unfinished. Going to make it nicer at some point. I can also separately apply some filtering. I noticed that whoa, this window is huge for no reason. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I will. So you don't have to. So one of the things that SFXer was able to do that I was not able to show or able to do at that time was some filtering, high pass and low pass parameters here do stuff. It looks real weird. So, you know, there's a square wave. If I put the low pass filter down at about half, there's a sort of smoothed out square wave. Here, let's turn this on. So no low pass filter, a little more, even more, real strong. You know, that sort of reduces closer to a sine wave. So if I just drag this all the way down, you see these get kind of like, okay, what does that actually look like? So if we zoom way in, it's real strange. There's a sudden jump right here when there's any low pass at all. Then it kind of squares off a bit more. Then it grows. Then it smooths. Then it goes down to 0 as I drag left. Anyway, yeah, so this is the SFXer low-pass filter algorithm. There are plenty of ways to implement a low-pass filter, I'm sure. It also has a high-pass filter. And that's what that one does. There's also this resonance slider, which does something. I don't know. Anyway, so I wanted some basic filtering. What I did, since I have the SFXer source code, I just kind of took that filtering implementation and did something that, okay, you can, if I want that roughly similar, it'll be a different frequency, but that's close enough. Here, that one has peak and sustain amplitude at the same level, sure. Make it a little higher so you can see better what's going on. So yeah, this just does the same thing. That's unpleasant. Let's make that shorter. There. So yeah, same algorithm. Same effect. But yeah, so I can actually just apply high and low pass filters to this right now. And it's nice. There theoretically could be other types of filters at some point, like say, I don't know, reverb or something, or like, you know, there's all sorts of filtering you can do. But just basically, I have a system for post-processing now. So there's sequencing, there's post-processing. Well, this is actually not post-process filters. These are inline filters. I don't have post-process ones yet. Those would be stuff like, say, compression or noise gating, like something that would need more knowledge than just the current sample and whatever its state is. Anyway, complicated stuff. Don't worry too much about it. I feel like I should explain things better when I mention them, but I can only prepare so much for these. I was working on this all day, so I wasn't spending all day writing the script for this. I do have notes, though. Right, so frequency. I'm now using octave values. I can toggle over to hertz. So 220 hertz is the same as 4.0, which is the first note in fourth octave, so A4. This is halfway up. Whatever that is, that's not even a key on the piano, is it? Let's see, the snap key here. Frequency is 311.1213. Okay, yeah, so that's D sharp. Anyway, yeah, so because of the nonlinear nature of frequency, stuff like the ramp frequency curve was already operating in this space, where like adding one number to this, so this is log 2 space, exponential 2 space, whichever way around that is, adding one number to the octave doubles the hertz. So on the inside it's stored as like a 5 here, but like I can edit it as 440 or, you know, change this to whatever number I want. And it'll just automatically do the conversion for me. So I needed both ways of inputting things, but like for this to be a straight line rather than a curvy one, well, you know, I can curve it like that, but that's a different thing. It needs to work in this log 2 space. And it just made more sense to internally represent all the numbers that way. So I have a hertz and I don't really have a name for this unit. Octaves, I guess, is what it actually is. Hertz and octaves toggle here. So that's how frequency values are done now. So there's filtering. There's sequencing, which I guess I'm calling layering right now. I should call this something else. My terminology is not very consistent. Then at the level of these, I've been working hard today on this kind of layering. Let's reset this. So if I say layered, and let's change this to average, edit layers. I only have this working for the wave shape, but the exact same principle is going to apply to frequency and amplitude too. So this little window, I can add a layer and change this to, let's say, square. So now I have, since I put this on average, I have a blend between a sine wave and a square wave, which ends up being shaped like that. You know, I can change the duty if I want to, which does that. That's fun. And I can add another one. Let's put a triangle in there. So triangle, sine, and pulse wave are all being added together, and it makes that sound. All right, let's add another one. Let's put a noise in here. All right, yeah, sure. And this is just the this is just affecting the wave shape. So that's the input for all the other downstream stuff. Like I can add more layers here of whatever type I want. You know. It all works pretty well. And this blend mode, right? So this is these windows that I've implemented here are kind of janky. I can't actually change their order, so this one will always be under this one. Lots of work still to do, but they work pretty well for what they are. I can see it lagging behind the cursor a little bit because I think I'm running with VSync here. So the cursor goes outside of it. VSync on Windows always seems to have 1 frame of latency. That's seemingly not true on every platform. Anyway, graphics programming stuff. Don't worry about it. So I have here a small representation of the wave graph of like what you see here. And you can even put this on spline. I can't actually... Ooh. Is this window eating my mouse clicks? It is. Oh, okay. So that's an interesting problem. Oh. Like I said... Oh, geez. What have I done? My thing is zoomed in. That's what it is. Okay. Got lots of stuff going on here. So this is drawing on top and yet is still not able to prioritize itself for mouse events. I know how to fix that. It's just a number tweak I need to make. It's fine. So anyway, where was I? So yeah, got this wave representation here showing what I'm editing. You know, I could make this. These are not named. They're all just called wave right now. Oh, right. This, go away. Reset. Here, let's just reset everything. Start over. Edit layers. I was trying to talk about blend mode. I'll get there. So yeah, sine plus overtones, you know, does all this fun stuff. So if I add a layer, actually, no, this was fun when I found a neat little combination here. So if blend mode is on add, you know, add a layer and it just gets twice as loud because that's 2 sine waves being combined with each other. Let's put it on multiply. If I multiply 2 sine waves together, I get double the frequency at the top half of the sample space. So that's fun. Let's change this to a triangle wave. Okay, same thing. Let's change it to a pulse. Okay, yeah, it gives me one of those now. All right, that's cool. Or I can add, let's see, if I'm adding... A thing that I'm noticing is missing is amplitude and frequency control for these, which, you know, is those two, but like, I kind of need to be able to change the amplitude and frequency of these at this level. This whole thing is just like confusingly recursive. It's like I keep having the same concepts at different levels building on each other. But yeah, I don't yet actually have the capability of reproducing overtones or harmonics or whatever with just this tool. I can do it with, oh yeah, I made this neat little sample file here. Oh, it doesn't load. That's sad. All right, well, I guess I can't show it. I want to fix that. I want to know why that doesn't load. Give me a second. All right, I fixed 2 typos in my I/O code. Let's see if it's happy now. There we go. All right, so this was an interesting little discovery that I made. This is 3 layers of sawtooth. Oh, I should show yeah, I'm planning to show waveforms for each of these layers. And have like mute and solo checkboxes for them so I can see what's going on. Anyway, so main frequency here is a near sawtooth at octave 4, or 220 hertz. Then I found it real interesting to combine this with frequencies that were almost an octave up and down at a lower volume, but off by just a little bit. And that makes this real rich, nice sound just from 3 near sawtooths. Like if I change this to 3 and this to 4, or 5 rather, see, like that sounds much less interesting than this. Anyway, yeah, so it'd be nice to be able to make a wave sampler here that would just produce that wave without having to go by layers, because these also come with the data of like amplitude envelope and frequency curve and stuff, and it's complicated. There's a lot I want to be able to do with this tool, and I'm having to discover like what I want to be able to do and how to do it, and a lot of back and forth iterations at every level. Like I learn of something new I want to do and it changes the design of everything. But it's neat. This is freeform software development, and it's already doing some real cool stuff. So I'm going to finish up my little project with layering here. Okay, yeah, I'm just messing with the thing that I had in there. Get the frequency curve and amplitude envelope layering. Oh, geez. Working. These buttons just do nothing right now. Right, these two have some different potential blend modes. Min and max just doesn't make any sense for this. Or does it? Maybe I should try it and see what it would do. So anyway, I have... The future of this tool is complicated. I'm in a real weird place right now. So I've taken kind of what's turned into an extremely lengthy detour from working on Foresight Fight and the other game that I haven't explained on this channel that I was also working on to get this audio maker working nicely. And I'd like to get back to those projects, but there's another thing that's coming up. How can I explain this without saying too much? So there's like kind of a game jam-like thing that I have opted to participate in that's starting sometime next month, supposedly. So that's a game project that I'm hoping to create from start to finish in a much shorter amount of time, with an actual deadline in a number of months, a very small number of months. And it would be super great for me to be able to use this tool for all my audio needs there. So I'm kind of racing against that to have like this tool ready for my own purposes there by the end of the month. Then my programming efforts are going to be in this new game that I'm supposedly making. I have my reasons for wanting to do this. I think it's going to be very good for, I don't know, for everything. I get to make a new game in a shorter amount of time and participate in a group effort and get some experience. Like, I'm way better at starting projects and like at the beginning and middle of projects than at the end of them. So to get some experience like actually finishing a project, which I haven't done for a while, would be a real good thing to help out with this pile of wreckage I'm leaving behind me. I have several other side projects that I just try not to mention here. Lots of starts, very few ends. So I need to work on my skill of finishing projects, and having something with an actual deadline on it will help that a lot. And also, having that thing kind of depend on this tool will help me get closer to finishing this one, or at least getting it ready for a certain use case. Yeah, so I want to make this available publicly. The source is open. You know, if you go to my WebSVN repository, you can see it in there. Good luck building it yourself. It's very complicated to do, but technically you can do it. At some point I'll make it friendlier so you can just download a bundle of source and type make and it'll just build. But it's not there yet, and I want the UI to be friendlier too, a little more intuitive. and, you know, wrap up a lot of loose ends before I feel, you know, I can hand this to somebody else and feel comfortable saying, here's a good tool, it'll work for your purposes. But like making it work for my purposes when I have all the knowledge of like hotkeys I've put in, what the word layers means here, you know, all those little things, is a whole lot easier. Anyway, yeah, so devlogs have already gotten super weird, and they might get weirder. I might just like put them on pause during this project. I don't know what I'm going to do. But exciting things are happening all the time. Maybe a little too exciting. Things keep changing. I'm still 100% committed to finishing the projects that I've started and have talked about here, which would, I guess, just be Foresight Fight and this thing. Like, that's happening. It's just a matter of when and how much effort I'm going to have to spend on other things first. So, you know, stuff's stuffing, you know, things are happening. I'll see you sometime to talk about things that have been happening, because there's always a lot.